Of course, of course.
Okay. This meeting will be video recorded and broadcast over local access channel 8 and through the town website at www.eastham-mass.gov. This is the Human Services Advisory Committee meeting on January 7th, 2026. And we called to order at 6:40. I'll leave it at that. And now we have joining us is Patty Mitro Costas. Did I get that correct? From Housing Assistance Corporation.
You did. Metro Costas. Yes. Good evening, everyone.
Okay. Hi, and we have two other people from the committee who may join us, but they're coming in through Zoom anyway. So, if I get up, I'll just admit them quietly. And but you have us, and you're, ready to hear from you. Can you give us some update on what is going on? I mean, housing is such a big issue right now.
I know. Great. Thank you for having us. Thank you, Kate, and all to the committee. Yeah, it's, we say I left my office tonight, like right before the meeting, and I said, "Oh my goodness, we could all stay here all night, and then we just wouldn't get, help everybody that needs help." So, here we are, and we have not finalized our numbers yet of levels of service for 2025. We're working on that now. So we're looking at an increase, though, certainly of number of folks served, and you'll see that I included in your proposal the numbers served in the town of Eastham in 2024, which was 85 people. And I think to show the amount of investment on the part of the organization and why we actually have gone to each town, and I'm happy to report, other than two pending towns that are new to us, Dennis and Chatham, new to us in terms of funding. We currently have support from the rest of the 13 towns' human service agency funds across the Cape. So that's something we're really excited about. So within the town of Eastham, we served folks through our energy program, investing over $140,000 in Eastham residents. Through our rental assistance programs and leased housing department, that was 34 households for just under an investment of $50,000. We had 18 households attend consumer education, housing counseling, home ownership workshops. That could be also one-on-one with our housing counselors. That's a service that also is provided free of charge. Obviously, all of these services are of no cost to the clients. And then in our outreach, our homelessness prevention, intake, referrals, case management, we invested just under $65,000 in residents of Eastham. So we're pretty proud that we're able to cover not such a gamut of services, but certainly spread our services through the Lower Cape and Outer Cape as well. In part due to our office located now in Orleans as well, which I think you folks are aware of. That was going on 2.5 years ago. We opened an office in Orleans, making it easier and more accessible for our folks on the Lower and Outer Cape. That has been a tremendous help. Again, certainly not to have to come all the way into Hyannis.
Yeah.
So, and we recently opened an office in Bourne for our Upper Cape folks. So we relocated to a new office in Hyannis that allows us more space for client services, should anybody from the office want to come to our Hyannis office. Frankly, we have a lot of folks from our Hyannis office that love to go to Orleans. It's a beautiful spot, and they hide down there.
Is that across from Mid Cape?
It's on
from Sunburn.
Yes.
Okay, all right, because I get those two offices confused.
Yeah, it's next to the former Governor Prince motel, which is
Right.
Yeah, right, near Sunbird, the restaurant. Yeah, because I'm sure they go into Sunbird and get food because it's really tasty.
Yes, they do. So I think that's helped a bit on the Lower Cape, because we think sometimes these outer places, become forgotten by places that are, seemingly so focused on the Mid-Cape. So we've really very strategically and intentionally expanded our scope. Many of our it's terrific because we have staff that are from all parts of the Cape. We have a concentration of our senior level team actually is on the Lower Cape. Our CEO lives in Orleans and is very cognizant of, being present and again having services that are available to people. So we are asking for $3,500. You did award us $3,000 last year. Certainly being cognizant again of the increase in services, the increase in the need. I wish I could tell you that our homeless numbers are down. They are not. We're seeing we are presenting across the Cape to community preservation committees for another shelter project that we're doing. And it's amazing to think we shared earlier this week in the town of Sandwich that in our homeless emergency overnight shelter, believe it or not, 35% of the folks that live there on what you think is an overnight, they go in, they register every night shelter, 35% of those folks are working. So,
wow.
right. So that tells you who sort of the new face, like when we say homeless or unhoused or, who are we seeing? We're seeing people living in our shelter that get up and go to work every day that are struggling to find housing, that are trying to save for that, that rental security deposit, the first month, last month, a utility cost, a past bill that's overdue. That's a lot of what our money does under what we call prevention, where you'll see like the just under $65,000. Those are those services. And then the energy audit piece is probably our biggest spent department, believe it or not. Many of our seniors across the Cape, in particular, have homes that are paid for that people say, well, why don't you sell them? Well, first off, that's their home. And they've raised children there and they've raised, grandchildren there. And the homes are generally oftentimes paid for, but the maintenance on fixed incomes is very, very high, as we all know. So our energy department, some insulation, fix a roof, replace a window, put in air conditioning units, help folks access some of the Mass Save rebates on air conditioning, on safer and more energy efficient heating. So most of that service is done through our energy department. So then again, because of our high senior population, that department, again, busy, busy, busy. So we think energy, people think, oh, fuel assistance and energy audits, and it is that, but it's also all of those services that are then identified through an energy audit. We've actually gone into folks' homes. Our energy team talks about, folks having outlets that don't work. So they have a bunch of plugs in one place with extension cords, and that's not safe.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. We have a limited number of HVAC companies on the Cape. If your heat, goes out, it's hard to get an HVAC company out there if you're not a big commercial account. So how do we help folks with space heaters in the meantime while we're waiting for their heat to be fixed? All of those services fall under our energy department. And many of those smaller services are paid through grants like this, through private grants. Not everything's covered. If you look at our budget, people will say, oh my goodness, you have a $50 million budget. Why are you coming to us for funding? Right off the top, $33 million of that budget passes through us. We are the Section 8 voucher holder, the biggest, the HUD Section 8 rental assistance program. So those are rental payments that we administer and that pass through us to landlords. So initially, when you look at our budget, then you start to break it down and say, again, large budget, large staff for all of these services. What we need for our clients that's not covered is all raised through philanthropy, including the money that we receive from the towns. This money goes into direct services, unlike our operational money. So that's why it's been really important to us. I mean, again, we're really proud that the towns across the Cape have supported us through human services and recognizing that, housing is a basic need. It's just, without that, right, we can't do anything. It was identified again at Cape Cod Healthcare as the number one concern of people that participated in their community needs survey, the number one need again across the Cape, the number one concern, with 73% saying that was the number one concern was housing and homelessness. So without that, we can't attend to healthcare, to working, to mental health, to any of the other things that we need. So, I'm happy to stop there and take questions. Lisa, I could go on and on like we did last.
Oh, yeah, so,
I have a question on your energy audits for seniors. Is it based on income? Is it an income thing?
It is the assessment itself is free for everybody. So there are no income guidelines to have an assessment. When it comes to the work, there is a sliding scale. If you're of a certain income level, like all the installation is free, and then it's a nominal charge as the income levels, moderate somewhat. It's still very attainable and affordable, as is true with if it's a roof repair, a window, it's the same way. Most of it is at the level of 60 to 80% of the AMI, which is the area median income, which is the level that you would be eligible. You're eligible for fuel assistance at 60% of the area median income. We like to go.
What's the area mean income now? Do you know off the top of your head?
I do. Well, it varies by household size. So in Barnstable County right now at 60% AMI, I'd say it's around a family of 250,000. So many folks on fixed incomes would certainly qualify, and then some. Most are below. Our seniors that are on, which also, by the way, are our largest growing population
Yeah.
of,
We know that.
sadly, of homeless, because
oh, wow.
isn't that it's disturbing. We have many seniors that have been in long-term rentals for extended periods of time, where now those rents are being raised to a rate where their fixed income can't pay, or owners are selling the homes, and they're just outpriced out of the rental market. I mean, we're seeing now the average one bedroom, starts at, $2,000 a month.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Can't imagine. Rooms, like a single room in somebody's home, $1,500 to $1,800 a month.
Wow.
It's just crazy. So, and that is our fastest growing, even homeless population right now. Our homeless, we have a caseload of over 500 that are considered either physically homeless, chronically, technically, meaning they're staying with friends, they're staying with family.
Yeah.
And 60% of those are over the age of 60. We have 80-year-olds, we have 82-year-old. It is a sad commentary. And again, that new face of who is homeless is, again, really, really a sad commentary. So we see a lot of and our energy director is, let's say he's young. He is young. He's in his 30s. Many times he personally
Yes.
goes into people's homes and comes out thinking like these folks could be my parents, and like they have a hole in their roof because they don't have the $8,000 to fix it. So yeah, so that's but as far as the services, when people qualify and primarily on Social Security, they will qualify for all the services to be free. Do we have wait lists for some? Is the work, backed up to the point where it could take a few months? Yes, but do we really try to coordinate services and work with people and not literally leave them in the cold? Absolutely. That's our goal.
For sure. Oh, my
So
God.
I've got a question for you in terms of operating this. So I'm imagining someone in their late 70s, early 80s, who is on fixed income, who has a fairly good sized house, but it's run down to hell and can't afford the roof, or maybe a few other heating stuff or whatever. So if this organization goes in and makes repairs, is there any kind of lien or something that's put on the sale of that house down the
No.
road?
No,
No. Is there
not with funds that we acquire, not with these funds or any, much of our funding for those repairs comes from Mass Save, which is
Right.
directly from our own utility bills, National Grid, Eversource, and no, there is no lien, there is no payback.
Mass Saves comes in and does a lot of, they don't do roofs, do they? Do they roofs? They don't do roofs
do.
and windows. They do.
Well, some of the funding that they do through us, we do. I mean, our contractors do them. We don't do that. But
Right.
they do, and we have funding from them for that. Now, again, do those funds run out? Are they, getting less and less? Do we candidly put pressure on National Grid and Eversource in a positive way that we can't? Yes, because we have so many people in need. So, our programs unfortunately are as effective as the funding. We
I'm thinking about down the road. Okay, I understand everything's is philanthropic. It's being financed through the utility companies. Everybody's being taxed on that. It's a great way to spread those services out to where they're needed. And people get that evaluation for free from Mass Saves,
Mhm.
and then choose to invest or not invest. If people are not able to invest in preserving that house, depending on how much needs to be invested to maintain it, I understand that public service agency coming in and say, gee, we can handle this, we get the contractors, take care of your roof, get the windows in, and it's gonna cost, say, $20,000 or $50,000 to get all that done. Why wouldn't we put a lien on the sale of that property down the road, not take it from them? On the sale and down the road, when that changes hands, then that money goes back into a fund for your agency or whatever agency is operating. I'm talking about self-financing this stuff over the long term. So the next generation of 80-year-olds has got a backup system that is much broader, that's kind of self-paid for. Does that make sense? I mean, a lot of people
It
are
does.
sitting on houses that are worth millions of dollars out here. And
Right,
when it gets sold, it goes down to family members, or goes down, God knows what happens. Some fancy lawyer takes it, So why, I'm talking about having a vision. Where is your vision for long-term financing of future change, that you see what the pattern is out here, and you know the demographic.
Yeah.
And what's happening. We all see it. We hear about it every time we have a meeting here. Is there any possibility of looking into having this mechanism? If we come in
Yeah.
and do this house, and it's gonna cost X number, and it's all done legally, not a lot, not excessive legal paperwork, but a legal thing that's, when that house changes hands, that fund is paid for. It sells for 2 million, so whoever paid the 2 million is paying taxes, everything else, but some of that money is coming back into your program that's gonna help the next group down the road.
Mhm. It's,
So does
I mean,
anybody talk about that at all, or not?
well, we do talk about that. We have what we call a housing legacy fund that is sort of a reinvestment of funds where we can recoup. On the Mass Save dollars, we're restricted by what the state
Yeah,
legislative.
Mass Save's something different. Mass Save to me that's already set up.
Right.
To multiply itself. Does that make
Mhm.
sense? That's long-term programming. It's gonna be around for years. So that's already functioning in a very good, healthy way with everybody contributing. But I'm talking about the things that you're doing with kind of an emergency basis. You're into a house, find out electricity's really not working, it's a fire hazard, and she needs
Yeah.
new electricity done. So I think it's great, then it should be done.
Mhm.
And then it's gonna cost. And so, and that's all great because they're sitting on a house that's worth a couple million. Why not have it come out of the sale of that house down the road? Let it be 20 years, 30 years.
Yeah.
But that money that's spent has been documented as legitimate spending, it's not wasteful spending, legitimate spending, and then that comes back into a fund that gets recycled to the next kid.
And plus, I think it gives people a little more dignity. too.
Absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
that they're not, that they are contributing.
Yeah, as long as
in the
it's done
future.
in such a way that, I mean,
I thought we're trying to tell you how to run your agency.
Well, it's, as I said, we are, and of course, in our CEO, some of us love those ideas. Unfortunately, we're driven by what we're contracted to do. I get it. And again, something else that we do that's an interesting, because you're right. And when we do have a lot of these situations, but
Right.
we have folks that are on such a limited income, or frankly, they have no assets.
There's no income.
You're right. They have this house though that's worth a lot of money. Something else that we have a whole housing counseling department, and currently one of our housing counselor who runs our reverse mortgage counseling, he is a retired commercial banker.
Mhm.
And that is another option for seniors. Yeah, and And at first when I go, oh, geez, even, reverse mortgages, you feel like, is it, like that snake oil salesman and,
Yeah.
when, right?
Yeah. I mean, I have some reservations. That's a lot of bankers making a lot of money, a lot of lawyers making a lot of money. And I'm not sure a public agency conducting this with filing paperwork would save a lot of money in the process instead of going to the pockets of the bankers and this one. That's why they set up these reverse mortgages, because those makes the bank money.
Right. And you're
You
right
know?
that,
So it doesn't have to
National
be set
Grid
the
is
same way the bank does. It
Mhm.
doesn't have to be
It's
set the same way the bank does.
It's a great idea, and we're looking at that even in terms of the housing developments that we build.
Mhm.
How do we not give away the whole farm, so to speak, and how do we have our clients invest, as you're saying, at a level where they can afford, even on the
Mhm.
rental side, rather than
Right.
saying,
Right.
here's the whole thing paid for, the skin in the game. And I mean, I like and appreciate your point about you look at this house and say, well, okay, these people are living in it now on a limited income, but what about when it sells in 5 years for these funds? I mean, I think it's a great idea for us to think more about as an agency. I mean, truly.
It's visionary to see how your agency can exist in a different way 5 years from now.
Hmm.
Well,
There's a lot more money
almost like
to it.
helping them put it like into a will or something so that it's not even a lien. So then they feel like they're making the donation back or something.
Yeah.
That they
It's a nice thought.
It could be
yeah,
worth- it could be
because I
worth-
think
Nice thought. Yeah,
Sort of trust or not.
got to be very careful
Yeah.
so that the
Yeah.
$2 million house is very different than the person who's in the what now is listed as $300,000 to $400,000 house,
Right.
which really isn't very much of a house.
Right.
And they're,
Right. And
probably not feeling like they,
Yeah.
that would be a
If
burden.
they're living
for
in a
them.
$2
So-
million house, they probably don't need.
Yeah,
help.
somebody
They-
to come and repair their.
Yeah.
Right. And we don't see,
Yeah.
honestly, we don't,
They have a home equity loan.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
Most of our
You'd be
people,
supposed to be
Right, I don't think that would be right.
I think there's a lot of 80-year-olds who won't do the home equity loan. So there are a lot of people without the resources.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't.
Houses,
probably don't-
But that's where they're coming in, where
Right.
they have the counseling to be able to help the people maybe find the better option instead of using their money, but
Mhm.
Yeah.
right, or
anyway.
even as you're saying, you're pointing out some of these larger homes. I mean, candidly, a lot of those folks don't call us. I mean, when you go to these houses, they're primarily the smaller homes, and they're not homes because they are in some level of
They're not on the
disrepair
water.
where they're not going to make millions of dollars. So, but
Yes.
it's a great thought and it's a great point, and we are trying to be more forward thinking in terms of investing. Again, we do have a housing legacy fund. We also are increasing our planned giving arm of our philanthropy department, which I work in philanthropy. It's that fine line, though, leaving us, a legacy in their will. So, I mean, we can't, when we give services, we can't ethically say to people, well,
Yeah.
you have to sign this, right? Or
Yeah.
even a lien, I don't
It's in your will now.
Yeah.
yeah, but again, sort of having those conversations more at our senior level and talking about that, I think is definitely worth talking about. But primarily, remember, these services focused on low and moderate income, and even if you have a certain level of assets, you won't qualify. You won't qualify for that roof repair. We would happily give you a list of contractors. We would even happily tell you how to access equity out of your home and I mean, most of these people, and again, they have health concerns, they have many like multiple risk factors, but it's still, your point is still, well taken, and I'll certainly bring it back to the team and for further discussion, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. So then to move on to something else, I mean, you have the family shelter on One Love Lane, which is a lovely name for it.
I know, isn't it? Yeah, we love that name.
And, but you consolidated, so when people, does it make it hard for people to get from the shelter, say, to their work? Just as you said, you have more people going to work from a shelter. Or is it because it's bigger, it actually reduces some of the overhead, I would think, I mean, staffing wise and various things.
It does, and the shelters are reimbursed right now, like our One Love Lane shelter. the basic needs there are reimbursed through state contracts, but anything additional that we need, when we needed to buy furniture for the new shelter, all of that money was raised, privately and such. Luckily, it's on the RTA bus route. It's on
Oh,
the
okay,
school bus
okay.
route. So in that sense, as far as like coordinating even services for all of our homeless families, they're all in one place now. And those other buildings that we had, Katomet has now been repurposed to house, because it is one level and it's a former motel where we used to house families in the Bourne area. Now that's for seniors and people with disabilities, all fully occupied. So, and all of those folks were formerly homeless. So in the last 6 months since we opened Love Lane, we're able to open up Katomet and offer those rooms, which are now efficiencies for seniors and people with disabilities.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
And our shelter in Hyannis, formerly called Angel House, is now a house for homeless youth and young adults. So that was converted to it's like a 6 bedroom with 2 bathrooms and a kitchen. And we have like a house manager. So we have six young people who have either aged out of foster care or have other risk factors that now live in our former family shelter in Hyannis. And we have a
Yeah.
so it's good. I mean, it's sort of like moving, right? Moving folks through the continuum, and then from
Mhm.
there, more permanent housing. Like the folks that are now in Katomet, they were like couch surfing or living on the street or living in a motel. And maybe, beyond this, maybe they get an apartment. I mean, frankly, we have folks that it's perfect for. They love it. It's one room, they have a little microwave, little refrigerator. We have a big commercial kitchen still located there where they can walk across, the green and go into the big kitchen and cook. So there's a lot of fellowship there because other folks live there, and it's on one floor. It's staffed, and that's also where our Upper Cape office is located, where our headquarters is located
Oh,
on site
okay,
at
yeah.
Katomet. So um, yeah, that's been a really exciting
That's
piece to watch.
nice, yeah.
Yeah, it's been
Because
really, really good.
I think that's one of the pieces with people in some of the senior population, as they're in some of these older homes that need the repairs, whatever, but there's no option of where to go to
Right.
get out of their house when they
Yeah.
really don't want to deal with any of the maintenance, but where do you go?
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
can't stay in your community really, or at least close to it, because there's just no options at all.
Some
Yeah.
recycling of old motels and
Yeah,
this kind of
yeah,
housing.
and I think
For
that
folks.
is a great, because it's all
And you can
one
build,
floor
you can
and,
build community around it too.
Yeah.
It's very-
That's
a great
what, yeah,
point.
that's exactly, it's funny. We have one it's a boarded up motel. It's in Hyannis. It's on Route 132, right near the mall. And we were,
oh, yeah.
you probably know the one, and we were literally talking about it a couple of weeks ago. And Elisa, our CEO, said, "Who owns that building? Let's call about it." And we did, right? And it turns out it was the LaRusso Foundation, big donors, big foundation, and
Yeah.
they're gonna like redevelop it into housing. And we were thinking the same thing, senior and disabled housing. They're like, right now it's planned for tear down, but to rebuild things. But they're having some issues with the town. And we said to them, well, basically, if you change your mind, like we're interested in buying it for that purpose because Katomet has worked out so well. Like you're saying, the motel is a perfect model. We at first thought, are people even going to want to live here? And it's like, wow, there's a wait list there already. Even in terms of like, this is just what we need. So, I feel like we're always on the hunt, right? Like we're driving
Yeah,
around,
yeah.
where, you're always trying to come up with an idea. And
What about Governor Prince next door to where you are in Orleans? What's happening with that? I've
I
looked
think
at.
it's gonna be actual houses.
It's gonna be houses, do you know?
we are part of that project. So it's
Okay.
housing
Oh, you are.
assistance and habitat and
Oh,
POA,
thanks.
which is the Preservation for Affordable Housing. So the three of us and the town of Orleans as part of that project, there's home ownership. Some are small, like apartment style condos. Some are little townhouses. Some are more, like single rooms. So it's a whole mixed use project of 70 units altogether.
Wow, that's fabulous.
So that's
That's great,
exciting
yeah.
too. So
Yeah.
we have that, we have these big projects, and we, work with big developers, and then we have the programs, these folks that still need our help every single day. So it's,
Yeah.
and we have, program staff that are just, so on the front lines, and we're determined to keep that. We're still the hometown, here to serve the people, here to do the programs. And then by trying to get in a little more with the bigger developers, saying we can put more affordable housing, as opposed to the big developers doing more market rate that people can't afford, right? So we have plenty of those
Yeah.
people in the mix.
Yeah.
I think we have enough of that, really.
Yeah,
Really,
yeah.
it just seems as
Yeah.
though there's even those small starter homes that used to be, the Nickerson homes they used to sell out of Mid Cape Center, that, they were small little places and the people could afford them. And there's still some around, but many of them have either been knocked down or been totally added on to and, doubled or tripled in size, but there's just nothing small. And I think for most people, it's where they need to be, a couple or an older couple, or just a single person, a couple of younger people who wanna, lift, there's not that many options, but,
Those starter homes don't exist anymore, like when we,
No,
You know,
nowhere,
no,
not just.
the young people, the young
I mean,
people.
my kids, they couldn't do that, and I don't even think they existed when I was,
Priced out, people's.
Yeah.
when I was, coming up, so.
Yeah.
Long back.
yeah.
Gone are the days when I had a banker recently was explaining to us how when he got out of, and he's probably 60, and he said when he graduated from college in Boston, back then you could say, take 4 times your income and you should be able to purchase a house. And he talked about he made $30,000 in his first banking job. He's now the president of Cape Cod 5, which is kind of cool. So he talks about how he has, he's like, I got my $120,000. And he said, I got in a little over my head. I bought a condo for 130. And he said, but I was able to do that as someone, who's 24 years old now. I mean, I can tell you my son is an assistant district attorney, and he can't afford to buy anything. I mean,
Yeah.
no way, no
Yeah.
how. So
What's the average age for people to buy a house now? Is it like 40 years old? Something.
I would say it probably is. I don't know the age off the
Yeah,
top of my head.
I thought I remember hearing
Yeah.
something like that. You have to be like 40 years old before you can buy a.
And even now, when
Still
you think
looking
of the
at the
cost of them,
And you better have double incomes.
Double
Yeah,
incomes,
right.
yes.
Not a single guy or a single woman.
We
Right.
hear we hear that a lot. You take a firefighter, a teacher who's single, or I always use my son as an example, the poor kid. And you say you cannot do it on one income. You can't pay what, a mortgage of $400,000, which is probably close to $35,000 to $4,000 a month on a $60,000 or $70,000 income. You can't even pay on 100 because that math doesn't work, right? So the president
That's right.
got 5, the 4 times even if you make 100,000, you should be able to buy a place for 400. There's nothing to buy for 400,000.
Yeah.
Right. So
Exactly.
More, right.
yeah.
Exactly, there isn't anything, and that's the problem, there isn't anything to buy. That the prices of things are so skewed that it's way beyond,
Yeah.
and who knows if that will ever change,
Thank you, yeah, no.
but, anyway.
I think what Cape Cod needs is just more multi-dwelling houses.
We try-
More side by sides and,
Up and downs,
Up and
yes,
downs.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that's how we started. My husband and I bought a 2-family house and the rent
Rented
for
out the other.
the apartment upstairs paid for our mortgage or most of it. And, we were making nothing. We were, and, but there doesn't seem to be that opportunity, well, especially on Cape Cod. I mean, they've made all those, ordinances.
Zoning. It's the zoning. Yeah. Yeah.
Where it's hard.
Yeah.
It's the zoning. There's so many restrictions now on
Some places.
multifamily and such that they've made it impossible. And then even again, the cost of building. I mean, people are being quoted
Yes.
$750 to $1,000 a square foot on a new
Right,
build.
Oh, my word.
right.
I
So you
know.
can't build any, yes, I know. so it just makes it be, yeah. It would be so expensive to have, you know, a big family house. I know, it's
Crazy.
pretty scary.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I took.
Yeah, we're glad we are where we are now,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Right? We're glad we have our houses. Yeah, we're glad we have
Yeah.
our houses. We often tell folks that many of us who have our own homes, I mean, now I could never afford to buy my house now. Never.
Oh, no.
None of us could. And at the Work and
None of
Housing
us.
Assistance, we sort of laugh about it. We're like, there's nobody on our staff that could be able to, that would be able to afford. Most of us have owned for, a long time. Like I just celebrated 30 years in my house, and I thought, wow, I could never even come close to buying a house like this now. No way.
No.
I was the teacher and I bought my property and then got a mortgage to build a house. I had somebody design it and I basically was the contractor who did all the ordering for my house and stuff. Got somebody to build it, but I could at the time afford it.
On
And
your
when I went
salary.
for my mortgage, I was like, at that point, I was a single woman. I'm like, I'm going to get that mortgage. They can't deny me because I'm a woman, you know? But, it,
Mhm.
you know, I could because I was employed, but I didn't build a big house. I built a very small house and that was the only way I really could afford my house.
Right.
And I had my two kids in that little small house and did put an addition on after they left, but I don't know. But it's still, you know, for somebody to do that now, it wouldn't happen. And you know, was lucky at the time that I could, but, it just, it is, I mean, partly, I mean, the property, it doesn't even exist, but, I don't know. It's something. Anyway, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, I always enjoy this group. I always enjoy because we have such nice conversations. I really do. I was
Yeah,
telling
I
folks
do.
at the office, and I said, "Oh, we'll be chatting." I love these groups that want to talk about it, and I get a different perspective, and even the suggestion about, how do we, maybe recoup money and reinvest. And I mean, these are all just, fruitful conversations, and I really, really
Yeah.
appreciate it. And I know that.
Yeah, so yeah.
Thank you.
And you know, we're looking at all of how we're going to divvy up our limited funds also. And you know, we know that our money goes and gets, well used. We get so much more, so much back for
More
any
back,
investment
yeah.
that we put out. So,
Thanks for the book.
you know, I don't know if I can guarantee the 3,500, but you know, we'll be giving
We
you,
try our best.
we'll do our fighting for you, fighting
Yeah,
for it.
Ryan.
Well, we
we're
appreciate
fighting
it.
for you.
Yeah.
It's a
We
tough group here.
appreciate
We're
it.
gonna
And
fight for you.
yeah, and I don't know if I don't want to say it matters, but what's really been cool is you'll see in our annual reports and a lot of our mailings that we do, we talk about the support from the town, specifically from the Human Service Committee. So know that as well, that's referenced. And Elisa was the one who kind of started all this, and we had a lot of people saying, "Oh, those are small grants," so and she and I were like, "No," she's like, "It's not even. I mean, it is about the money, but it's not. It's about the support and
It's
Right.
support,
talking to
right.
more people and spreading the word and having conversations." And
Right.
so that's why I said, so tonight it's like, it's really great. This is our third, will be, hopefully, our third year. And again, we get to have these conversations, and that's so much of it to us. And
To go right along with that, the first year that you did apply, remember Jackie Beebe, our town administrator, saying, "Oh, I'm so glad that you've gotten an application from Housing Assistance."
yes.
Because, I mean, she had done that in a previous sort of life. Worked with different nonprofit agencies, but you know, she knows the agency and really understands all that you do. And so she was happy to know that we would be looking at giving support. And, you know, so I know that she's well aware of that. The support from the towns does make a difference. Yeah.
That's
So,
great. That's great. And we,
okay.
we appreciate it and appreciate the support. We have, other applications that we try for rental assistance and such. So, but right now we have the human services committees that we're thrilled to have. So again, I thank you all for your time tonight and
All right. Thank you,
continuing the
guys.
holiday season here in my house. So I'm like, keeping my
Have a good year. Happy New Year.
Like that too.
That's good. Happy New Year. That's right.
Happy New
Yes,
Year.
yes.
Lots of good work.
All right, thank you.
Thank you all. Good night. Bye.
All right,
Okay.
okay, so
I didn't
Felice,
realize they had such-
is that you?
As a guest, I don't know.
She's muted.
Let's go for that guest.
Okay, I don't know who it is. It might be.
Someone's got a mute button on. Police, are you there? East Ham administrator. East Ham admin is talking.
That's us.
Yeah.
That's us.
Yeah.
I can ask.
And then was she the woman, the housing, was that the person that was just there? Yes, 120. This is the same number. I don't understand that. I'd have to take a tutorial on this. It's not me.
Okay, there we go. Hi, Felice, is that you?
But I liked your point, Mary Jane.
I think there's ways of building people to look beyond just going from year to year
Yeah,
and say, how can
I
we take
agree.
a turn about this? Because we know this, we've said in those meetings, this is across the board.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Food is an issue across the board,
Yeah.
housing's an issue. across the
And
board.
I, I do feel like they do have to be careful because there are some people that somehow this may keep them from doing it because they're fearful that that's gonna mean that their houses could get taken from them.
Well, no,
There's just-
this can be all.
I know that it isn't, but I think
It can
that,
all be crystal clear.
yeah,
It's not, yes, people will be frightened about some contractor coming in and putting a lien on. This is
Yeah.
handled in such a way that's very, very slow,
yeah,
and it does not multiply lawyers' fees, bankers' fees, all the people who are making money
yeah,
in real estate.
yeah.
And we're paying for that. That's why everything's completely out of balance.
right.
We're paying multiple levels of this stuff. And then it's up to the nonprofit organizations to get a glimpse of this and say, what can we shift here on this level and keep it nonprofit?
Yeah.
Keep it so we're recirculating the needs, and it's simply done. I mean, I'm trying to do this. A friend of mine up in Toro inherited a beautiful house right on the Pamet. She's an artist, didn't have any money, I didn't have
Okay.
any money. And that place was falling apart. And she hooked up with people and mass saves came into stuff, different people did stuff, but she also changed the paperwork on her deed. So that this money gets circulated back into
Oh,
those
Okay.
locations.
Yeah.
That was
Great.
part of the agreement of doing this.
Oh,
Because you
that's
see,
part of their agreement, huh?
Well, I think so. I don't think she necessarily volunteered all this. It was like, we can do this.
It's really.
We can
Yeah.
change this.
I mean,
and then we
it's
can
not
use it.
sustainable.
And then it's, when it's good for the community, it preserves this beautiful piece of land that nobody can support unless you're a multimillionaire.
Yeah,
Okay, so this it preserves the land, preserves the house. And it's not costing, because eventually that will get,
Like community preservation funds or some such, that there probably was
I
some
think there was probably a problem with
organization
that.
Yeah.
that she did it
Yeah.
through and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's very,
Yeah.
it's all, forward thinking and responsible and such, but I can think of my mother and stuff that she might have
It's
been,
really fair.
yes,
It does.
it is.
It's,
It
you
is.
you make
I mean,
it,
It is.
wanna hold on to this, and you have, and you share the values with other organizations who want the same thing.
Yeah,
Right.
So,
Right,
okay, so
right.
then once I'm dead and gone, doesn't matter what happens. But it does matter if that money gets transitioned into paying forward
right,
a portion, not all of it, but
Right.
a portion of it. And not the
Right.
banker's
At least-
salaries and not.
Right,
yeah,
that
not
one
lawyers,
Layer that,
yeah.
layers that
Yeah.
are built in on them.
all right. Good point, and I
Yeah,
think,
I know.
they will,
I hope to have some
and
discussion.
maybe you could call them up and volunteer.
Yeah, I know. It's like, yeah, I know that.
Or that the woman who did it in Truro,
Or to
she
get a
could
lawyer.
call and say, this is,
Yeah, I think she could, she could go
Yeah.
down and meet with them.
right, and just say, this is what I did. This is something, I don't know.
It was well discussed among different agencies there or whatever, but it was a well thought out plan. that met her needs and also meets the community needs.
Yeah,
And preserves land on top of it. So,
all right.
Okay.
Shall we get back to the
Yeah,
minutes?
that's where we are, we're always.
Are we done? No, that was the last one,
Okay.
right?
Yeah,
yeah.
that was
yes,
the
we
last-
only have one
recommendation.
tonight.
Okay, but
Okay,
there's no more agencies.
two more.
Oh,
There is?
Yeah, so let's just first of all deal with the minutes from December
Okay.
10th.
Yeah.
And you've had a chance to read through them. They were, used the AI and rewrote.
How did you feel comfortable doing that?
It seems
And you
to,
still have to rewrite it though.
yes, there's no question that you have to
Adjust it.
adjust it.
Yeah.
It does give you sometimes way more than you need.
Mhm.
It also confuses who is speaking
Saying-
some of the
Yeah,
time.
Like here, yeah.
And, so, but I try to do it right away so that then
Oh,
it's all very
continue.
familiar.
Yeah.
And I can
Yeah.
just shape it the way,
I know, I had remembered this meeting,
Good
like
for
I
you.
remember reading, I started reading it.
Thank you, Kate.
Well, that's why I did it way, from
Because after Christmas vacation, forget it, I was like, what did we?
the intervening from actual Christmas and then going away and everything. It feels like it was 3 years ago that I did those minutes.
I agree. Yeah.
Maybe it was, I don't know.
well,
Literally.
it looked good to me.
Okay,
You know,
I
I
will,
think the AI things are very professional.
accept any motion
I move to accept the meetings as written.
and a
I'll second
second.
it, I'll second it.
Any
It's a
other
nice
discussion
description.
about her? And so it is just the 2 pages and any other, okay, so we will put it to a vote. All those in favor of accepting the minutes from December 10th as presented?
Hi.
And any vote opposed? Doesn't appear to be. Okay, yes. All right. So
So who are the other two?
the other two we have the family pantry tomorrow morning at.
Yes, you're doing that, you're going there.
Yes,
They're not
so
coming here.
I don't know who is coming.
I know, I had put it down and I don't know if I just.
I will be going,
Going?
yes.
Jay?
I am
What
going
time is it, 10 AM?
10 AM at Family Pantry, which is, it's not the thrift shop, it's the actual
right.
pantry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can go, I put it on the calendar
Okay,
and it's down off of Queen Anne, do you have an address?
we can find it.
It's here somewhere.
It should be in the,
Packet.
in
Yeah.
this thing. Yeah, because they come from.
Okey dokey. Well,
I don't know if I ever got an address off of that.
no, there is no
don't think they
address.
covered that.
Oh, yes, 133 Queen Anne Road
Okay. And it's in Harwich?
in Harwich. Let me look that up. Okay, so she said she's here but can't activate her mic.
Okay.
Okay. That was Felice. So she's
Okay, good.
listening.
Oh, all
Hi,
right.
Felice.
Hi. Oh, so that is Felice?
Yes,
Oh,
that's
good.
Felice.
We didn't know who you were.
Okay, I'm just gonna look up 133. Cause I have to
Queen
then
Anne.
go to Sandwich afterwards.
Well, believe it or not, I actually have it written in here.
Did you say no? I
Months ago.
No, I
Queen,
No, it's-
already have something scheduled.
I put it-
Oh, it's
I
that.
put in the ad as 133 Queen Anne. Okay.
There you go.
okay, and it says the family pantry. Okay, whoops.
I'll go with you. You wanna go together? You don't wanna go, G, or you can't, you got?
No, I can't go tomorrow. Steve.
I have to drive myself
Okay,
because I'm picking up somebody afterwards to drive to Sandwich for her cataract appointment, so,
Oh,
um. But so if you get onto Queen Anne and just keep driving, you can get off on 24 and go down.
19 minutes here.
Yeah, it's not bad.
124, is that the first one where the medical center is? I always get 124, 124.
No, that's 137.
That's 137.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the second one. It's it's
Okay.
almost to the double
Okay.
lanes.
Okay.
Um. you know.
For some reason, I had a mental block about those two. This is
No.
a change from
Yeah.
11. Okay.
And then,
We have one other after that.
yes, and then next week we have the Alzheimer Family Support Group. So we will do the family pantry. And, you know, we don't have to stay for, you know, we'll do our half an hour more or less and,
Yeah,
you know.
take a look at operations. That helps me to see things visually.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see, you know, some people, he may offer a tour, you know, as much, but it's also, things are happening in there, so it may be hard to really walk around too much, but I bet we can see because it's massive.
He said, yeah, that might get an idea.
Yeah.
This helps me, it's like I couldn't tell her address between the house, the one I went to visit, I went to 3 in Orleans. And I'm thinking it's maybe that one across from Sunbird, which I've never been to. It turns out that's what it was.
Yes, yeah,
So,
it is, it's, yeah. Cause just the other day, when I was down there, I remember seeing it very specifically and saying, okay, yeah, that one's
That's
there.
it.
Um, so that will be fun, and if you're down that
Yeah,
way, just
go
back a
over
little
to the
ways, is
Second
the
Chance.
thrift shop is
Yeah.
fantastic, if you haven't
I
been
wanted
to
to
the
read.
second glance,
Yeah.
which is the one for the family pantry.
Chance or what is it? Second chance or second glance?
Second glance, I think.
Glance.
And that's on the 28 over.
Yeah.
Yeah, that area.
It is, it's a great one.
Yeah,
Ellen, I'll drive too. I just want to drive and then I can go do this stuff afterwards. If not, I have to keep up with anybody. So I'm
huh?
gonna drive myself.
Oh, you want to, okay.
This way I can stop and do things on that with 28.
Yeah, as long as you're, out there, sometimes that's the way it is, yeah. I know, it's like that, if I go to Hyannis, it's like, I keep this list of everything I need to do.
Yeah. I can-
Okay, and so then we have Alzheimer's. All right. So today I did see Jackie. And thank you very much to the two of you for doing the information. And I brought this and I had updated my spreadsheet too. And brought both of them and sat down with her. And I said, yep, I'm here to ask for money. $28,300.
Then did
I
you
said,
back
oh,
up and
wait,
tell
then
her
we'll
no,
subtract the 4,000, so it's only 24,000.
That girl, yeah, they're doing fine, I download.
Right.
Yeah, start at the top, work our way down a little bit. And, so she was like, okay. Um, she did not say no.
Mhm.
So,
No.
and there's definitely some hope there.
Yes.
So I showed her this quickly, that we had these, that we
Did you
hadn't
see
funded
this?
last year. I have another
Yeah, I
one.
got it.
And so Felice, Dee and Mary Jane, they did this, just sort of a sheet that
Summary.
a summary of of the funding requests. And there were some, the organizations, do you want another one?
Did you want? Oh,
All right, good.
I should have another one in my pile, otherwise, yes, I yes, I do. Okay.
I only had one, I just.
So, by showing her the ones that applied this year that had not applied. And I said, we had already funded them other years, but they hadn't applied last year. So that was, a big chunk of money. And then I showed her the ones that had applied before, and now we're asking for some more
A
money.
bit more.
And then the ones that, down the bottom that graciously hadn't asked for any increase. And then I went to Outer Cape Health because I wanted to get to that one. The day after Christmas, I got my letter saying that my physician was retiring and I am no longer have my own.
Yeah.
Doctor. So I'm one of those on the list at Outer Cape Health.
Yeah.
And, and I said that to her. And, and tried to explain the program. And Rich had talked to her a little bit about it. He did go to that presentation.
Yeah.
And I said, it's really something that is, the Navigator program helps a particular segment. And yes, we provide it's close to 60,000 now through various things. The money for that. But this is helping basically everybody, anybody else, because there's really no doctors down here. She's been a patient there forever and thinks it's a fantastic, health center. So it's like, it,
Speaking to the choir, so.
yeah, and I just sort of said, this is a way, telehealth, it's a way to increase access to, to doctors. It isn't the end all, but it is a way to take care of, some
And,
of it.
and the whole thing about recruiting doctors.
And that's what I said, doctors can live elsewhere and then, come here some of the time and, really be a way to bridge that gap. So she was, quite open to it. And then she spoke about Hillary Green. There she has another part to her name, does public health in the town. She is all into this, and they've just received a grant that has to do with networking, sort of, I think, healthcare services between Eastham and Provincetown. And she said, I think that sort of matches. I
Yes,
said, yes.
so that could go to the.
So she was going to talk to Hillary. I'm probably going to have a chance to sit down with her and go over sort of some of the things that the town is doing. And there may be a way through her and some of the funding she has that some of these increases can be covered. But also Jackie was going to look to see if there was any way that they could give us give us money for some of these things. Cause she said, like, Hillary might have some of it, but they're all regional organizations. So the regional money could help with some of this. Maybe we can't give all the increases to the ones that have asked for increases, but if we could at least, for some of them maybe, or some of the ones, fund some of the ones
Yeah.
up above that are back with us.
Right.
It could make a big difference.
Exactly.
So Jackie's gonna get back to me. She knows we're at the point where we're nearing the end of our work. They have presented the budget to the select people. They did that Monday night.
The staff.
The administration has
Okay,
done it to
okay.
them. And she said this year, I mean, some of the drivers in the budget this year, she said it's the worst, and she has been working as administrator. It is the worst, the tightest budget, the most money we have needed that she has seen. The Nauset school system, Eastham, our numbers grew. Orleans and Brewster went down and Wellfleet stayed the same. So our assessment from the Nauset district is up $1 million. And so we have to come up with that money. The union contracts for the police, fire, and the DPW are up. That will be,
right, every 3 years.
yeah, that will most likely be an override, and as will be the Nauset funding. The water and sewer stuff is pretty stable. Health insurance, they're not sure if that's going up 12 to 20%.
Right.
So these are things, and like the schools are about half the budget. The police, the fire, the DPW are another big chunk. She said she told them that because some select person asked, how do we get $1 million if it doesn't pass? We closed the senior center, the rec department, and the library.
Oh, no way.
I said, well, that needs to be broadcast out to
Yeah,
the
you
people in
can't-
the town.
You can't.
Yeah.
you can't
That's the
stop
only way,
this.
because you can't, I mean, they would probably take a little bit from fire to but you can't eliminate those departments.
Right.
You can the other ones. You
Well, and
can't eliminate them. So
that would be way more than.
That makes us way low on the totem pole.
that's what it does. So that's sort of where
Yeah.
things stand. So they have their budget and they have a list on the side of things of new positions that different departments want. You know, it's like the
Look
state,
at the wish list.
but yeah, there's a wish list and we are already on that wish list. They did, Rich had already said they need more money about our committee.
Okay,
Okay.
So we were already there.
Oh, wonderful.
How much, I don't think they had
Yeah.
a number for
Yeah.
it, but,
Whenever they give us more, we can work with by,
yes,
we can-
well, and that's what
like
I
you said
said to
earlier.
her. I said, yes, what we want is to fund everybody's
Right.
requests,
right,
but we don't have to. We would like to see the Outer Cape Health get their money because it's the beginning of something that is, it's the beginning seed money to show the support that then they could go to the private foundations and get the money for this. But, you know, for these other things, we want to give them something, some money somehow.
some money. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like Sustainable Cape Cod, I mean,
She was very good.
she was very good.
yeah.
But I said to Jackie, it's in the school, and I said that really, it probably should be in the school budget.
Budget,
Yeah,
And so she wrote that down.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
she's looking at that.
okay.
And I think she may go to that principal and say, you know, but, you know, Alzheimer's helping I said, we have to give them money. They are wonderful programs. And I used our line of what we give them is only a small fraction of the services we get.
well, that's the point I think we need to drive home, is that the
Yes.
return on the investments that we're
Absolutely.
giving,
I said it
you know,
more than once.
thousands of percent.
Yeah, I said it more than once, and I said these organizations, and they all rely on volunteers, and they're, you know, they're wonderful. We are getting
Just
so.
really asking for them, it's just, you know, they have a $52 million budget, they're asking us for $3,500. I mean, it's almost just a nominal ask,
Yes,
you know.
yes,
it's-
yes.
It's easier to get fire, police, competent fire, police teachers. People want to live here because the services are good
Right,
and there's tight budget control.
right, you don't have, you
Combination.
know, homeless, you know, tenting out in the windmill and, you know, you don't see it here, it's really very well managed.
Yes,
And
yeah,
I
we-
lived in other places and it's not so well managed, and you see it all the time, and it really degrades a culture and an
Yeah,
area.
yeah, yeah.
People don't wanna go live there, people don't wanna be there because they see, you know, homeless people walking around begging and panhandling.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I want to be here, you know? So what these agencies do
What
is,
they do is
It's
fantastic.
amazing,
The,
so that-
the preventive work
What is
that
that?
many of them do,
yeah,
you
it
know,
just
one,
touches everything.
it
you know?
does, it does. So, you know, and Jack it's like preaching to the choir.
Yes,
She's
yeah.
Yeah.
We'd love to do it.
And she's
Of course.
worked in it and she knows it. So,
How
she
about the
was,
finance committee? Would they be somebody?
I don't
would be
think that
helpful?
there's, Jackie and Rich, she was gonna talk to Rich about it
Yeah,
and
he's the
Hillary,
one,
and I think
right?
they're the ones who know all the pockets of money too.
Okay,
And I think that we go with that and see, you know, what we get from them.
Yeah.
And, I don't think we need to go,
The
elsewhere.
only thing I think the finance committee may not know is return on investment.
Right.
That's what I
That's something
learned,
they're
yeah.
not necessarily thinking about. They're just saying this is being outgoing.
right.
And maybe, you know, next fall, early on, that could be something that is just so that they understand. I mean, you could just be an item on the agenda and say, you know, we get all these funding requests and we just want you to understand what we hear from all these different agencies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they would, who knows?
I think it's helpful. I mean, Jackie has worked at, so she knows,
Yes,
but a lot of the finance people are not. They're coming from a different background. most of
Yeah.
them, I think. And I get it because I couldn't work any numbers. But I think that it's important to know the value
Right,
And how, what's the damage to the police department? We get good police officers because we have a good school system
right.
and we have safe streets. And we have, benefits for people.
And the thing is that the police and the fire department benefit from the Navigator program because many people that they are trying to support, they know they can go there and sort of hand them
So
off
there's
and they will
burnout.
get there.
Let's burn out police, let's burn out fire.
Right,
The whole integration of the community on so many levels.
yes, yeah. So we've, I think we're at
Discussion you
least,
had with her then.
yes,
That's-
starting
Yeah.
where we,
Yeah.
where it's
Mhm.
going and we'll see.
Good.
I would think maybe before next week, may have talked to Hillary.
Oh, yeah.
Cause I'm gonna try to sit and, talk with her. I will even, I'll get a hold of Erica and because she'll be the one who'll probably be facilitating it. And just see if I can sit and
So
talk with her.
is she a public health nurse for town of Eastham?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if she's actually a nurse, but she does the public health for the town. And, but she's passionate about it. I mean, it's her real thing. So she is going to, she knows all these agencies.
That's-
She's gonna get this and she gets, the bang for the buck and everything else. So I think that if we can, she may have some way, some access to some funding to help us
Okay.
get some more money to come to us.
This is
When do we
the
have to,
government.
when do we have to submit it by?
Well, they're already working, on the budget, so
Right.
there is a placeholder in the budget
Right.
for us, and what they're just looking for in the end is, our numbers to go into the budget that gets printed in the warrant. And even that, I mean,
Well, let's just
you know,
give them the
whatever.
number that we want, let it print it.
But they are, how, if we get it through a grant over there, it may not be reflected in our budget. I don't know how they'll do all of that piece. I mean, but it would be nice if we could, co-op some of that. Right. But,
Okay.
I came away from there because I said, she said, well, I'm not sure. I said, but it sounds hopeful. And she said, yes. So I think we're gonna get something.
Yeah,
Um,
and like you said, Rich already knows and.
Right,
Yeah,
and I think our Cape Health maybe
They
is gonna
understand
get dealt with, but I
Yeah.
think for the others, I think there's
Use
going
the
to
money.
be something that's going to come through for us,
Perfect.
and,
And the school system would be good to finance that role. It was so sharp.
They could take the sustainable,
That
you could take
Disabled.
the,
yeah,
I mean, she's not gonna be available out
That'd
here
be
for a
nice.
while because she's gonna move on. And
she's been down for a while. I
Yeah.
mean, she's pretty established. I mean, she's got
Yeah.
her child in the school and everything, but it's a different organization and they really are working at it. I mean, she was
Yeah.
passionate and I agree, but I felt like more or less it really should be. I mean, there was a piece of it that potentially could still stay here with the human services, but that most of it really should come out of the
I
school
agree.
budget because they're working with the
Absolutely.
curriculum and everything, and
Right.
that's where it is.
yep, yep.
And
Yeah,
they try to keep their budget, and they have to,
Yeah.
so close to the edge, but if it's then that integrated into the school system, that's what should be happening.
Did you
And-
see why the Eastham elementary school or the Eastham segment went up $1 million? Is it, we have more kids?
more kids.
More kids.
We
And
have more kids in Eastham?
And Orleans has less and wherever else goes there.
well, and as I said to Jackie, that means we're keeping our kids here. So it's the regional budget, so we could have had these kids as younger and now they've reached into the regional ages. So now they're in 6th through 12th grade. And that,
We're setting
budget
a
gets
different-
set in
yeah.
such a way
Right.
that those kids started last year, and then this next year, they used the numbers of the kids that were there, and it's proportionate. Here's the school system budget and the proportion of kids that belong to Orleans and Brewster and Eastham and Wellfleet, and ours went up because our numbers went up a little bit and others went down. And so it makes our percentage of the budget higher, even though we didn't necessarily have that many more kids. It's just our percentage of the budget is higher because of that. So, you know, it is the way, and that's the way that budget has been done for years.
Yeah.
And it's
Well thought out, actually.
it is,
Yeah.
it is, because it ends up, it reflects the number of kids in the whole system and the number of kids you're sending to it. So,
I
But
realize we have more kids.
yeah,
Yeah, that's good.
I wonder how the high school's doing that. In fact, there's a new high school now that's gonna attract more kids in.
yeah, it could, it could.
Well, they have a huge number of, school choice kids already, right?
Right, they
They
do.
have like 600 in the region and another 300 that come from out of the region that do school choice.
Well,
Is that
they get Truro
Yeah,
and Provincetown.
Read
That's
that.
what you heard?
Yeah.
They get Truro and Provincetown kids.
Mhm.
Are
and they
in
are
region?
still-
Aren't they regional?
They
No?
aren't totally
Oh,
regional, no.
okay.
They're not invested in the
Because they're not
The
paying their
debt
fair
service.
share.
Yeah,
the debt service piece.
They're not, yeah.
And then we get kids out of Chapman
But-
and Harwich and
yeah,
Ennis
yeah,
and such, so we do have quite a few.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
you know, it's all the pieces, it's the school system, the new building, the sports and stuff, so.
So you're saying folks from Provincetown and Truro are not paying their fair share towards East?
No, because they're not regional, they're not like Brewster, Eastham, Orleans, and Wellfleet. They're coming in. Mary explained it to us one morning at breakfast and said they're paying less than what we're all paying for our kids here.
Oh, really?
As-
I don't know why that is. I would have
you-
questions about
Probably
that.
the way they
Well,
structured that.
question Mary, ask her,
I know, I will.
explain it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I didn't, maybe I didn't
I missed-
explain it properly, but she
You-
did say they're not paying.
Because they're not part of the debt service.
That, there you go,
Right.
there's the.
So they're not paying for the buildings.
Yeah.
Why not?
They're paying for their school choice amount, and some of that is potentially has some reflection because they don't have the school for that age group any longer up in Truro, Provincetown for high school kids.
A whole more reason they have it less expensive. They should be coming down towards the regional. high school.
So they're not necessarily regionalized. Some of those kids go to Monomoy
Right.
or they go to Tech or whatever, but they, when they started to work on that, initially it was just coming in as school choice, so it didn't
Yeah.
get put down as
As-
that initially.
So they're not carrying the.
So they haven't been doing it,
Well,
and
you
I
said-
think it's been broached many a
Yeah,
time,
I'd be sending a big bill to Provincetown. Big bill.
so.
You know, they got the
Well,
resources.
they
to cover
can,
it.
then they can afford it.
Right, well.
They can afford it.
Well-
And I don't know how many kids are involved.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
not.
Can't be that
It's
much.
not huge,
No,
but it's,
very
it
small
is
amount of
enough,
kids,
yeah.
but still they're
Yeah.
not paying what we would be paying under
Yeah.
the way it's written.
So,
Yeah.
anyway,
All right,
That's great, thank you.
and I will be.
Oh, we gotta
in-
adjourn.
Motion to adjourn meeting.
Okay,
I'll second that.
okay, Ellen and D, all right, and it's at 7:55. Okay, meeting is adjourned,
Meeting is adjourned.
and we will see you next Wednesday.